Hey. Hey, Lori. Running a little bit behind. I was able to come home and quick throw a hoodie on. It was chilly this morning. Anyways, I'm going to wait till, pardon me, we get a few more people in. And g'day, Big Matt. Nice to see you, buddy. And Michael, a special thank you for you, sir. Happy Veterans Day for you down there. And again, thank you to all the veterans, both sides of the border, U.S., Canada. We wouldn't be able to do what we do today without your sacrifices. And today in Canada, we honor the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice. And yeah, those are the ones we can never repay the debt. So I'll just kind of let people trickle in here for a little bit. I got a few things that I want to do for Remembrance Day for our side. And obviously, Veterans Day, yeah, don't let them trick you, but I've already given them peanut butter, so they've had a big treat already. And yeah, just a few things we'll go over. And then it'll be pretty much the same thing as what we normally do. It was, I can start off. I had, I don't know if he's, g'day, Brandon. I don't know if Charles, I don't think has made it in yet. But I received this little thing from Charles. He's redone his stickers. And yeah, sent me a sticker. And whoops, and a magnet. I really like the magnets that he's redone. And of course, there was a nice little letter that came with that yesterday. So it was almost just like perfect timing. And hopefully, Brandon, and everything went all right last night. I obviously was in your live whenever you had to shut it down and hit the road. And I kind of followed a little bit on your Facebook there until oh my goodness, I have the whole family in here today. Hey, Stephanie. Appreciate you guys. And yeah. What was I going to say? I did have something else. Again, I received a mystery gift. I really wish people would let me know. But I've now got 4. This is a selfie stick. And it goes and goes and goes and goes. And I now have 4 of them. Somebody was saying that, and this one's actually got the button that I can, actually don't even have to have it there. I can take it right out. At least I could before. Oh yeah, I gotta retract that. But the little thing comes right off, so I don't even need to be reaching or pressing. It just, I can put it in my pocket, whatever. So it's a half decent one. I just don't know if it's somebody just being kind. I don't know if it's a supplier who apparently there is some not suppliers. Well, I guess, yeah, suppliers, manufacturers who are just sending stuff out to hopefully have people say, I know, Stephanie, I'm going to be able to get 4 cameras going, 4 different angles. Wow. Somebody said that they're sending it out. Hopefully that somebody will do a review on it. And I'm sorry, but I'm not doing a review on anything that I don't try first. I didn't say the name of it or, anything like that. All right, Joe. And that's rather rude, Lori. This is a perfect specimen. And yeah, 2 came from China without names. And this one was actually out of Canada. So I really don't even know how to operate the thing. You're supposed to, I don't know, my kid said something about, oh, look at that. Comes apart. I don't know if it's supposed to. I guess that's where you put the batteries for that thing. Anyways, enough screen time for them. If they would have let me know who they were, maybe I'd do a little bit more. And Lori, you be careful, or I'm going to take your wrench away. Then you're going to pout. And it may have a recording device in it as well. Yeah, you never know, Brandon. You never know. Well, if they want to record this household, they're going to be sorely, sorely shocked that nothing happens here. You might be lucky to catch the odd person flying by. But okay, let's do the whole hello. John H., our friend from Scotland, he's got to go, and he's been tossed into a band. He's got to learn 40 songs for a gig in a couple of weeks. Good luck, John, if you watch this on the replay, buddy. Altruistic Farm said, hello, Jen. And, well, that's okay. Keep Wiley working. It's a good place for him. Rebecca Davis, hello. Everybody want to say a little prayer for Lila Newton. I don't know if she's got the hokey pokey and turning herself around, or if she's just got a bad cold flu kind of going through, but she said she's pretty sick. So if we can keep her in our prayers, because, well, Lila does a lot for a lot of folks on YouTube. And then some channel called LG Homestead. Hello, LG Homestead. Tiny Tim Posey. Hello, sir. And Outdoors with Big Matt. Vision Acres Homestead. Hello, Michael. And Garden State Gardener Joe. Again, Sunday nights, 7 to 9. If you're into growing, you just want to grow your channel, meet new people. Joe puts on a great seed giveaway. It's great. I won't have to buy any tomatoes this year. I've probably got 40 different varieties of tomatoes. I've got from hot peppers straight through to mild jalapeno peppers. And anyways, he puts on a good show on Sundays. It's well worth a couple hours just to unwind. That's normally my time to unwind and laugh and joke. And then we've got Rustic Woodworking Family. Brandon, for those of you that are not subscribed to Brandon and Stephanie, well, they're the reason you're watching me right now. I had no inkling of doing this, but I got a shed out and, well, gave me something to do all summer. For those of you that don't know, Brandon in his spare time, which is about 2 minutes a day, if he's lucky, is a sheriff, or deputy sheriff, sorry. And he does amazing woodwork. The good Lord has put the art of woodworking into his hands. He makes the most beautiful flags, crosses. He's just opened up his website. I think, Brandon, you're a mod, or if not, Lori, can you put actually, hang on. I'm going to, if you're a mod, Brandon, can you put, I'm just trying to get over to see if you are a mod or not. Because if you're not, I want you to post both your, no, he's not. I thought he was. Okay. Whoops. Wrong button. Unpin. Rustic Woodwork. Add mod. Add mod. So, Brandon, Stephanie, if you want to put your channels up, that's great. And along with your website, Brandon has just opened up his website again to make flags. Get your order in fast, because he's got limited time and he's only going to be able to do so many flags. And I recommend they're an amazing Christmas gift. On his website, I'll put his website and that in the description after. I can't do it right now. But again, I can't say or do enough for both Brandon and Stephanie. They're the ones that got me going on this silly little venture, and I love it. Not that I didn't love modding, but actually being a creator, it's been a wild adventure. And I've already said hello to Lori, LG, Squirrel Magnet Fishing. Hello, sir. How are you? Hopefully you found your magnet that went oops into the creek. And Craig's Cabin, my brother from Sussex. Welcome, sir. And don't let Jesse fool you. He might wear the pants, but Lisa tells him what pants to wear. Just saying. And I'd say that if he's in here or if he's not. Because the same thing happens in my house. That's all right, Mike. You keep your eyes on the road, buddy. I'll bring you up here after. And once I get through saying hello to everybody, if we don't mind, we'll do not a full minute of silence, but just to show our respects and whatever for the men and women of that who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and to the ones that are just starting out. And that includes my baby. He's been 2 years active reservist, and he's in school now to become a police officer in the military. So today kind of gives an eerie feeling being on the other side. And my friend Christian, how are you? Nice to see you. Did you get, I think I saw you just ordered a hoodie a couple weeks ago or a week ago. Just wondering if you've got it yet. How's the weather up here? It was very, very damp, and we have a breeze today. It was bone chilling cold, but I don't think it's that bad. Oh no. We just had an accident here not that far from the house, and they couldn't get the individual out. What a way to go. Wow. Say a prayer for that family. It's 45. So it's not freezing, but it's gonna rain here shortly. So it's just very, very damp. But, well, it was a beautiful day. The last 4 days has been anywhere from 66 to, I think yesterday was the coldest, and it was about 54. So, but it was still like t-shirt, short weather. And yeah, I turned up the furnace, which I'm not supposed to be running. They'll be here next Friday. So I called after found the furnace flooded. They recommended that I not use it. Hello, I'm in Canada in the middle of November. You got to take the edge off. And I love it, Lori. Yes, I tend to grow like that too. Not the good kind. But yeah, today's just bone chilling. But I'll warm up. I kind of got the furnace running. I build it up to about 67 and then turn it off. And of course, I don't tell my lovely wife what I'm doing. She thinks the house just kind of warms itself up. But that's okay. LG Frontier Survival. Hello, sir. And yeah, go ahead, Matt. Start dropping all the channels, buddy. And yes, if you like, sorry, Brandon, thank you for posting that. If you like ride-alongs, Brandon is the only police officer I know that gives out more warnings than tickets. I've been following their channel for, I probably modded for them. Now it's well over a year that I've been with their channel. I'd actually say almost 2 years. Yeah, I think it's closer to 2 years. And I think I've seen him arrest 3 people and give 5 tickets. Tell you what, they don't do that in Canada. Even my buddies don't do that. It's nice to see. And I'd like to see the stats to see if it works. And Brandon and I will be doing, I'm trying to get a couple more people, but the spin-off of the other channel I was going to start, but I'm just going to keep it as one channel, Brandon's going to be one of my first guests. And the first one, like I said, it's something that I think is needed going through a lot of these things. I wish that, I guess, going back to before my surgery, you kind of feel like you're the only one. And is this normal? Is that normal? What should I be watching for? And, my buddy Rob, whose farm, he's got severe PTSD. He's not scared to say it. You going to work? Yeah. All right. You closing? Sorry? You closing? Yeah. Okay. All right, have fun. Yeah, he's got severe PTSD, paramedic firefighter for 37 years. So that's going to be, PTSD will be one of the things we touch on. Addiction will be the other. I've also got another stream that I want to touch on is, when is medical intervention good? Can you do stuff by yourself? Or, a lot of people have in their mind that the homeopathic recipes and whatever, do they work? I think every one of us can relate to somewhere where, just cutting out processed foods and whatever helps you. But I don't need to say that here. We're pretty much the majority of us anyways, are striving to cut out processed foods and raise our own. And the best thing I've ever done is raise my own cattle. And I've had a blast, absolute blast. I'm not sure about the pigs yet. And that's just simply because people want to go to the grocery store. I guess that's where they grow the food. Sorry, I'm being facetious. But it cost us $4 a pound to raise the pigs because we use oats. And, yes, they get treats. They've had an endless supply of pumpkins the last week. Those videos will be coming up next week. And, but yeah, it costs about $4, and that's processed. Like, there's no processing fee on top of that. And you can't sell farm raised pork right now for $4.50. That's all we're charging is 50 cents to raise that pig from 10 weeks to freezer camp. So we're not in to make a whole lot of money. It's more or less to cover the feed to feed our pigs. But yeah, we've tried. And people just, they want to go to the grocery store and pay 99 cents. Knowing that it's full of hormones and antibiotics and whatever else. Yeah. But that's a whole other thing. But the other channel is I'm hopefully trying to get with Brandon here in the next couple days and get the first segment out in the next week or so. And tomorrow I've got an announcement. Tomorrow's live will be fun, interactive. Pardon me. And I've got a special guest coming on next Thursday or Friday. Anyways, I'm going to announce who that is. And I'm also going to include my faithful friends that are always here in the questions that I'm going to be putting forth. I've got some of my own, and I want to include you guys as well. So we'll announce, and then we'll have it an hour or so, and then you guys put what you might want to ask this person, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm not going to turn into a channel that interviews. That's not who I am. I'm more about building others up. There's channels that's all they do is interview folks. Yogi Hollow Farm, Lisa. That's what Lisa does. Ricky Ventures. That's what Ricky does. And Country Mama. That's what she does. So that's their forte. I've just been working with a couple of these channels for probably 2 months now to try to get together and do not a collaboration, but just a little get together and help one another out. And yeah, I don't know what'll come of it, but again, I'm in no real rush, and I can see I'm way behind on the comments again. So, oh, you didn't find your magnet. Ooh, that gets expensive whenever those magnets start flying. I know my buddy had looped like what you did, and then he clamps it. So he uses not baler, the metal, the old time baler twine, and he puts about that long of a fold back, and then every finger he'll wrap it, and then he puts electrical tape over the whole thing, and then he duct tapes about the first foot, and he hasn't lost one since. And it gives him a little more weight whenever he throws the magnet out. Not a whole lot, but it does add a little bit of weight. That's one thing I don't know if I'd be able to do with my neck. I'd love to do it, try it, but. And Mr. Jim, hello, sir. Hopefully it's beautiful in Florida. If it is, kind of point it up this way, just for a little bit. And and you're at work. Well, you have a great day at work. And if you have your motorcycle at work, have a fun ride home. And yes, absolutely. Happy Veterans Day to all veterans, past and present. There's one video I want to play. It gets to me every time. But man, he's taken a song that was meant for the US and he's changed it over to Canada. And you'll see the Highway of Heroes. So if anybody's killed overseas, they fly them into Trenton, Ontario. And from there, there's about a 100-mile drive down the Highway of Heroes. And then they go to Toronto to be, I guess, autopsy done. And yeah. So they've called it the Highway of Heroes. And that's what I wanted to play today. Now, for those of you at work, you may want to watch this on replay or have your Kleenex ready. I just have to pull it. I don't care what happens in 31 days. I did have it all queued up. Not sure. Oh, I know if I... Sorry, guys, I'm not, as you know, I'm not that tech savvy. It takes me a minute to find things. I think if I do that... Okay, now let me know if you guys can hear this. I am going to take that down. I am going to... Okay. You all have fair warning. This is amazing. Let me know if it's too loud, not loud enough. I'm going to use my pop can to see if I can do. Now. All right. Let's try this. Told you I wasn't tech savvy. Oh, I know what I can do. Ha ha. Look at me go. If tomorrow all the things were gone, work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be in Canada, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad to stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless you, Canada. From the shores of Nova Scotia to the forests in BC, Montreal to Winnipeg, from sea to shining sea. Detroit, we can see her above the USA, 'cause there's pride in every Canadian heart, and it's time to stand and say that I'm proud to be in Canada, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad Hang on, guys. Sorry, I tried to get rid of that. Wow. That one gets me every time. Yes, it was a Canadian song, but it's for both. Absolutely, Tim. Whoa, can I have a drink? He's made, I think, 3 or 4 different parodies like that. And this guy has a gift. And just want to go back up, say hello to everybody. Brampton Gardner. Welcome, welcome. Randy, nice to see you. Ultimate Acres, hello, hello. Tiny Tim, I think I've already said hi, but, you know, a man of your stature will say it twice. Hello, LP. And all right, Stephanie, take care. Have a good day. And Judy May, happy birthday to you, Judy May. And that's quite all right. You just do what you need to do. You want to, but I'm still gonna say happy birthday, Judy May. You just want to sit and lurk, you sit and lurk. You want to chat, we'll chat. It's all good. Little Southern Brothers. Hello, Donna. And that's again, Judy May. Don't be sorry. Don't. Tommy, hello, sir. Notice, as soon as I see your name, I said hello. Just saying. I know who your favorite is. That's okay. We don't have to make that public because somebody will get a little antsy and start to pout. But we all know that, you know, it's all about love. And nice that you're being nice to her today. That's very nice, Tommy. And Homestead Family Reclaimed. Hello, Mike. And Jen's back. You're never late, Jen. Now, you had to make lunch? Why aren't the little monsters making lunch for you? I'm going to pose that question. Oh, wait. Probably the same reason that mine don't make it for me. And Rebecca Davis, absolutely, that's a tearjerker of a song. But you know what? It's... why won't that let me? No, I don't want to block user. There we go. And Mennonite Farmhouse. Hey, not a problem. Wow. Everybody's making lunch. I didn't make my daughter lunch. She didn't make me lunch either. Yeah, well. And well, I'm glad you're back. And who we got? Judy May, thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Oh, Judy May, you don't even have to. It's all good. I was looking for you, and I knew today was your birthday, so I'm just glad that you popped by. I appreciate it. It means a lot. And absolutely, it's a good. You got to start. You still have them young enough. Start training them. And all right. I don't have a whole lot to ramble about today. Today's for veterans and if anybody would like to come up, I will post the link there. And I've got stir-fried some green beans with garlic and olive oil. Oh, yeah. And a little bit of sea salt on top. Nom, nom, nom. Oh, James. Oh, there we go. Now I'm back. Oh, sorry. My allergies have been going crazy because they are cutting the cornfields all around the house. And it's been dry enough that there's a bunch of dust. And I didn't realize it, but I guess I'm allergic to corn dust. What was it? Oh, well, there's double trouble. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
What's going on, Michael? Not sure why you got muted there.
Yeah. We are at a friend's house helping babysit. I'm trying to get the camera angle right so you can see both of us.
You're helping babysit.
Yeah, so there's my small army plus my friend's small army, and
also the problem child, Hunter.
You know what though? That problem child may grow up to be bigger than you. So be very careful.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance.
Because both my daughters are older than my son. They used to dress him up. And they used to do his makeup. Now he's 6'6", about 285 pounds, solid.
And he doesn't have any of it now.
And now he picks them up and throws them away.
Yeah.
So be careful because they grow up.
Yeah,
I know.
And
how tall is his dad?
What's that?
Hunter's dad is like 6'2" or 6'3", and Michael's dad is like 5'6".
Oh boy.
Yeah, so he'll probably end up being bigger than me, which I'm not too worried about.
No. And
Michael's like, I'll still be smarter than him. It's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you can run faster, that's all you really need to worry about.
Yep. Plus, since we're out in the woods.
You can always run faster scared than somebody can mad.
Smart advice. But also, since we live out in the woods, I also just have to be able to climb better than him.
Yeah. What if he has an axe, a saw, or a chainsaw? And you fall and it really hurts.
Yeah, it would.
Trust me, we might have played those games whenever I was younger. But so what else is going on?
Oh, not much. Wiley is working on a house.
Oh, he's still working in that one in downtown?
Yeah, they're doing a lot of like sheetrock repair and having to do mudding and taping and stuff, and it's not at all his favorite thing to do.
Well, all that he has to do is call Greg.
Yeah, right. Or we showed that video of Raquel. She looks like she's pretty good at it.
Yes, Raquel
If we
is
could
good
just
at
get Raquel from Canada to come help.
It'd cost you a fortune to get her. Sorry, I went to pour some ginger ale with my orange juice, and it just went poof, all over my table.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Wonderful.
We can't see the chat because we're on mobile. So, hello. I said we can't see the chat. So, hello to anybody who's in here.
I think it's just the normal group here. Just give me 1 second. I just want to. If I clean this up now, I'm not going to have a great big mess after.
And it won't have time to get sticky.
Exactly.
What about this button right here?
I can leave a chat, but it doesn't show the chat. See? Oh, wait, there it is, but then I can't see the screen.
I was going to say, I've changed it. You can't comment in it, but you can see it.
But I have to pull up the...
You can't...
Seeing it blocks up the entire screen, so yeah, it's not that helpful.
Hi, Joe, at Garden State Gardener.
Yeah, Joe's saying hi.
It's not often y'all get to see Michael.
I know.
Yeah, normally I kind of hide.
He's kind of an elusive creature.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I actually convinced him to come hang out with us today. I'm surprised he said yes, because normally he's like, nah, I think I'll just stay home and enjoy the peace and quiet by myself.
Well, I was thinking that, without the little monsters, it'd be a good day.
Yeah. LG, he's the one who had, or Hunter is the one who had the bee sting. Poor Hunter. His face was so swollen. Hunter, now when he sees a bee, he's like, there's a bee! And I don't blame him because he's been stung probably a dozen times this summer.
What's he doing?
I don't know. We went to a vacation Bible school and we took the goats and some rabbits and some quail and stuff just to show off. And Hunter was outside playing on the playground for the church, and it was like old, and you could tell it hadn't been played on in a long time. And he got attacked by a swarm of like hornets or something, and he got stung 3 times.
Yikes!
And that's when his face was swollen, his leg was swollen, and I can't remember where else he got stung, but they got him good. So now when he sees bees, he goes the other way.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't swat at them and make them angry, and they'll come back and sting them even more now.
Yeah.
But there is some kind of is it pheromone that people give off that bees will come and sting them. I know folks that they get 5, 6, 7 bee stings a year.
I'm just glad he's not allergic.
Well, I think I've been stung maybe twice my entire life.
Yeah. When I was a kid, usually if I got stung, it was because I was running around in the grass with no shoes on. And the bees, you step on them and they'll sting you.
Yeah.
But not like poor Hunter.
That's just not good. Not good at all. So how long are you babysitting for?
Probably till about 4 or 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow. So. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, sometimes I pawn my heathens off on my friend, and now it's the other way around.
And that's the way it works, right? Absolutely, yeah. Joe. Some people have sweet blood and some people don't.
Yeah. You wouldn't think Hunter would because he's kind of a pain in the rear end, but
Exactly, the
apparently
problem
he's really
child.
sweet to the bees.
Well, you know what? And bees are attracted to manure. So just saying. Oh, poor Hunter.
Oh, poor Hunter. Yeah.
We'd pick on him even if he was sitting right beside you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we
So-
would. And then he's not very good at talking crap back, so
Oh, he will.
yeah.
He will. Mike from Homestead Family Reclaim said hi.
Hello, Mike. I think I messaged and said hi to him before we got in the video.
Yeah, I don't know.
If y'all see my finger going up in front of the screen, it's because I'm checking the chat.
Yeah, I know. That's so. I don't know the last time I updated or upgraded this iPad 2 weeks ago. It totally screwed up the volumes, and people couldn't see the chat anymore. And it took me like one morning to go through StreamYard and reset all the stuff. It's just like
That must have been a big pain.
I haven't played around with it a lot.
The only reason that I bought it was I go over my 20 hours. So
Right.
and
Trying
is
to hold
it
the camera.
worth $20 a month?
Whoop.
Don't think so, but it's the only avenue that I can use for free.
If you want to keep doing it.
Well, that's it, because my whole thing, quit dropping me. I wasn't holding you, but
They're probably talking about us fimbling with the phone.
oh,
My
okay,
hand was
maybe
getting tired holding it that way, so I had to readjust.
I wasn't sure. She's like, "Stop dropping me!" ! I'm like, didn't have you. Oh, is Charles? Oh, there's Charles.
See, I did it again.
Charles, what great timing! I got them
Hey,
yesterday.
Charles. Ah.
He did new stickers, and I love.
Oh, those are cool.
Actually, that one's a magnet, and that one is a sticker.
Nice.
Cool.
And so, thank you, Charles. I got them yesterday, just in time. And then, yeah, if you go back and rewind, you can see a video that was done for fallen veterans up here. And yes, it was perfect timing. I went out to the mailbox yesterday and fallen Arkansas veterans. What's Charles up to now? Because I've already got stickers. And then
for your P.O. box, have you signed up for informed delivery?
I actually have it delivered to my buddy's house.
Gosh dang it. Somebody called me and now I can't hear you. Let me leave and come back in.
Okay.
If I can. Oh, wait. If I do that, it's probably going to make me...
It's okay. I just dropped the link again. So just
Okay.
jump out and then absolutely, Donna. Thanking them. Ew. Oh. I see them.
Okay, that's better. Yeah. So I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb this time.
Oh.
Yep, it sounded like you were whispering.
Yesterday, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb for our live, and then I forgot to take it off of Do Not Disturb. So I didn't hear from anybody for the rest of the day.
That's one way to give yourself a quiet afternoon.
It is, yeah, for sure.
As quiet as it gets in your little zoo.
Yeah, I know. We have to like.
Yep. If only the kids had a do not disturb button.
That would be wonderful.
You do chocolate and send away.
Yeah. It's called. I mean, you can hear it's pretty quiet here right now because I keep telling the kids every time they come inside, I'm like, it's nice. Go outside.
Absolutely.
But when I'm at home, I'm usually the one outside. So I'm like,
yeah, go in the house.
Yeah.
But Mommy, you said it's nice outside. Oh, I'm not here. Go to the house.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so yesterday we were telling you guys that there was a meeting about homelessness. And I was replying to your message on Instagram last night when my phone died. So I
saw that, I was going to bring it up to see if we could talk about it or not talk about it. So I'm glad that you brought it up. So I didn't have to.
Yeah. And actually, so, the city has undergone some changes as far as like who's running things. We have a new mayor this year, and they just appointed a new city manager within the last month and a half or so.
So he finally got fired?
Yeah, the other guy didn't. Yeah, exactly. Or I don't know exactly what happened, but he's not there anymore. So that's good because he's kind of had the approach of let's ignore it and it'll go away. If we can't see it, it's not a problem. And the mayor was explaining it at like he was comparing it to the game Whack-A-Mole because you have an unhoused person in there in front of a business, and that business calls and they're like, y'all got to run them off. So they run them off from there and they just pop up somewhere else. And he said that we have it's a citywide problem, not a downtown problem. He said that we've got homeless encampments all over the place. And he was like, if people knew where they were, they'd have a problem with it. And, he didn't tell anybody where they were because he doesn't want it to become a bigger problem. So, but they're working towards an initiative. I can't remember what he said it was called, but it's some sort of like zero initiative, which homelessness will never be at zero. There will never be a point where there's nobody homeless.
Some of those folks have mental issues and they don't want help. They want to be there.
Yeah, some of them are happy living that way. Yes. I mean, there's people, they kind of relate to the people that want to live like the van lifestyle. That's freedom to them, not having a place to be tied down to or whatever. So not everybody that is unhoused wants to be in that situation, but there are some that do. And but the fact of the matter is there's they brought up the fact that there's people that haven't fully recovered from the crash in 2008. And now with all of the other stuff going on and people being forced to not be able to work last year, that put a lot of people out on the streets too. And then, many people live paycheck to paycheck, and one little tiny thing goes wrong and they're out. They lose everything.
Do they know?
Go ahead.
Do they know about your first couple of years at the post office?
I don't know.
About how you barely got by?
Yeah. I mean, Go ahead.
No, I said I know, but I don't know if everybody else that's here knows.
Yeah, well, I was a letter carrier for 7 years, and it took me 3.5 of those years to get a full-time position. And I was a single mom with 4 kids, and even though I made $20 an hour, after taxes and health insurance and everything, we lived very much paycheck to paycheck. I mean, there were some months that I still had to go to the food bank to fill in the gaps. And because our grocery budget is $120 for 2 weeks. And that was a really tight budget. And if if I needed to fix something on my car or whatever, that took from our grocery budget, because you can't take it from the electric company or from the rental company or whatever, because then they'll shut your utilities off.
Yeah.
And you just, they're the only place to pull it from was from groceries. And it was really, really rough. But
Yep. But thankfully, she somehow got by.
yeah.
That's probably what gives her the motivation to get through like 2 or 3 court cases.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. We won't even. Scott knows a little bit about that, but we won't.
Yeah.
That's a long story for.
That's a long story, and it's personal.
So anyway,
good boy, Michael.
We went to this meeting last night, and they had a lot of good things to say about getting to know, and there's a lot of like larger cities that are already part of this program, but the smaller cities are considered, I can't remember what he called it, but if you don't have over a certain population or whatever, then you can't, before you couldn't participate. Hey, Emmy. Before, before things had changed, you couldn't participate in this program, and you'd have to create your own program before, it was just a big thing. But now our town can be in it, and the goal is to get to know all of these people on a name basis, like first name basis. And so then that's the first step, is doing getting a regular census several times a year, so you can know if the problem is staying the same or getting better, or whether it's getting worse. And by knowing them on a first name basis, you collect data like how long they've been, the history on their homelessness, what kind of needs they need, whether it's mental health, or if they need help getting a job or getting their credentials, or, and then another aspect of it is getting all of the nonprofits in the area to come together and sit at a big table and talk about it. Because there's our nonprofit, and then there's other nonprofits that also feed, and then, Joe might do this, and Michael might do that, and, we do this. And the thing is that we're not connected. So we don't know what everybody else is doing. And by bringing everybody together, we can identify gaps, and we can identify how to help serve people better. So we also, they gather data on people, and that way when we're all sitting around a big table and they bring up, a certain person, one nonprofit can raise their hand and be like, hey, I can help that guy with this problem he has. And then another one can say, hey, I can help him with this problem he has. And then also when we run across somebody, we can be like, hey, I'll make a phone call, or let's go over and talk to this person, and we can help them. And the whole idea is to move them out of the system at least as fast as they're coming in, which they said that our homeless population in 2019 in Shawnee was around 500 people that they counted. That's not, that's just the people they could find. Wow. And 280 something of the homeless were school-age kids. And that's sad. That's sad.
That breaks my heart right there.
Yeah. And that was something I didn't know, that I was kind of shocked. And that's information that they said that they got from the local schools. Whereas before, the local schools wouldn't share that kind of information. And, homelessness has different levels. There's couch homeless, where you have a friend or family member and you let them live in your house. They're still homeless. That's not their home. And then there's, the people that live on the street. There's people that live in their cars. There's, different levels, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, that guy needs to get a job. But who's going to give him a job if he's grungy and doesn't have clean clothes or transportation or an ID? He can't fill out an I-9 or a W-2. It's a much deeper problem than people think it is. Because they just look at somebody and pass judgment, oh, that guy needs a job, or that guy needs to take a bath. Well, invite him into your home and let him take one, okay? And that's a lot to ask of people, really. But the fact of the matter is that people don't really understand the depths of it. And so I think this is 5 or 6 weeks that they're doing these meetings. And so it's every Wednesday. So we're hoping to go every week. And we've been invited to be speakers on December 8th. And Wiley and I have talked about it. We prayed about it yesterday. But we still have some more praying and talking to do, because when you put yourself out there, you also put yourself out there for criticism. And if we want to get up and talk about the problem, but we have to figure out how to do it without laying everything on the line. Like, I get to talking and I just talk and say I am not the greatest at like thinking before I speak. So
yeah, I've been trying to get better at that so that I don't completely yell at Hunter, because he does often get on my nerve.
But look at it this way. You are bringing a unique perspective to the table. You are allowing God to be part of the solution.
You're just not going to speak. Right.
And God is able to speak through you.
Hi, Joanna. We're in a talk with Scott.
Who's Scott?
The Canadian friend.
Hello.
Comedian friend? Our friend from
Canadian.
Canadian. Oh, Canada. Oh, okay, I don't know how to repeat it. Sorry. Sorry.
You allow, you're allowing God to speak through you to the powers to be. And like Lori said, she said, churches should be part of this circle as well.
Absolutely. And these meetings are being organized by an Episcopal church that is across the street from the park that we feed at.
I really think that this is, as soon as you said that yesterday, I came right into my mind. I'm like, you know what? God is putting you in contact with something that is allowing you to grow.
Right.
They do feed, but they don't feed nutritious. They feed, they don't nourish the soul as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here's a bag, go away.
Right.
Where you offer food and fellowship. That one lady that sat and talked Emily's ear off yesterday, and then came back after Emily's ears were bleeding and started to talk your ears off.
Yes.
You know what? She didn't. Yeah, they made that food, but they were lacking the fellowship. So,
right.
Yes, they can feed themselves, but they were in need of fellowship. So,
and that was very surprising, because Steven, the guy who made the food, we've only seen him a couple of times. And then after we had packed up yesterday, there was a guy that came a week or two ago, and he had made the canes. If you remember the canes that I was showing.
Yes. Bye, Charles. God bless, buddy, and thank you for everything you do for veterans. God bless.
Bye, Charles. Have a great day. Anyway, and he left a cane with Wiley and just told him to give it to somebody who needed it. And so...
I remember him too, Lori. Because I remember you brought it over and just, I forget which tree, but it's naturally made. You just sanded it, varathane it, and it's a walking cane. That's absolutely, yeah.
And they're beautiful too. They are really nice.
Yeah.
So it was crepe myrtle, I think, is what it was. But anyway, yeah, and some of these people, a lot of people that we serve aren't homeless. They suffer from food insecurity.
Yeah.
And then there's that old woman and her daughter, with the beard, that come, and they have a house and they have food. I think they come for the fellowship more than anything.
And you know what? So people's souls they're hungry for fellowship. Food is a bonus to them.
Yeah, people just want to be treated like people.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And like Tim just said, he said, don't think what you should say. Let God speak through you. God just needs a willing vessel.
Absolutely. Amen. That kind of gave me goosebumps. And that's something I've prayed about too, is that, if this comes to fruition, I'm not going to write a speech or anything. I'm going to get up there. I might have a couple questions that I want to ask the crowd. But other than that, because, I want to ask the questions like, how many of you have driven by a homeless person and judged them and thought that guy should get a job? Have you ever tried to apply for a job without having an ID or a social security card to fill out an I-9 or a W-2?
Yeah.
And just kind of like bring you, and Wiley and I were doing our Bible study this morning, and we're in the book of Acts, and it was talking about how the disciples would make it a point to relate to their audience before they witnessed to them, to find common ground. Because when you have common ground, it makes people more willing to listen to what you have to say. So, and I've prayed about it, and I'm like, God's just going to have to put the right words in my mouth.
Yep, because Mom just doesn't want to get run off if they find out that she's been feeding just there at the park.
Because last week, when we fed at the park...
They know about you. They have to know about you.
Yeah, I mean, because we're on a main road. We're on a main road too, and we don't try to hide in the back of the park. We're right out front because we want those who are hungry to be able to see us.
That's right.
And but last week we had packed up and we were talking to a guy before we left, and everything was packed up and we were just having a conversation. And so like 3 different city utility trucks pulled up. And they thought we were stuck where we were parked at. And so without even asking us, without even talking to us, they started hooking a chain onto our truck and they were going to move it, whether we wanted them to or not. And we were like, no, we're not stuck. We're fine. Like, just.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And they were very rude. And we were just like, we, obviously didn't respond to their rudeness with rudeness. We just left. But some people are just so ugly.
That's it. They're stuck in their lives.
Their hard hearts.
Care.
Yeah.
And I know it's sad to say. And hello, Polar Bear. It's sad to say, but a lot of folks have blinders on.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with this because, well, that could take away from them.
Yes.
Like we've spoke on many occasions. Our issue here is, child poverty. And it's just, it rips me apart. And every spare dollar I have goes into kids in the community. Always has,
Yeah.
Whenever I was elected, I said 10% of the township money that I'm given as a little per diem for what we do goes right back into the community. Now it's probably about 20% that I give, but that's just something that
counting, right?
Like, the same as the merch, everything goes. Those 2 young guys walking around with holes in their shoes going into winter, they didn't have boots. But you know what? Mom and Dad have enough money to go out and buy cigarettes and booze and tattoos and, and again, I'm not judging.
Oh, shoot. Hey, will you go help Joanna load that stuff up? She's got to take Emily to go babysit in a little bit.
I don't want to judge, but, that old saying of it takes a community to raise a child truly does in some circumstances.
Right. Yeah,
But
it
here,
does.
we're running into the issue where, well, if they didn't get, if they got one last tattoo, they'd be able to afford their kid shoes. Well, you know what? I look at the issue and go, you know what? That kid doesn't have shoes. Let's get shoes on that kid. And so the money that, or not, I'd say about 75% of that money that I've already raised through the merch that I sold went to get these kids shoes / boots. They're like hiking boots that they can use either way. Hey,
That's
buddy.
Eli.
Hi, Eli.
Hi. What's your name? What's your name?
What did you say?
He said, "What's your name?"
I'm Scott.
Oh. Well, I like to play a lot with friends.
Yeah, he likes to play a lot with friends. He said.
That's cool.
Lily's
Where's
one of his
Hunter?
best friends, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes
That's
when he
awesome.
wants to be mean to me, I just don't want to play with him.
Uh-oh.
Because sometimes when Hunter's mean to him, he doesn't want to play with him.
That's right.
Yep.
But
Yep.
whenever Hunter's nice most of the time.
Yeah.
It'll ring 3 times and then go away.
Mm.
Oh, and I did see a question here, Jen. I forget who asked it. I think it was Tim. Yes. You guys haven't put out a video yet? Did you make your total?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And we were talking about that. We know we need to get that out. But we were kind of waiting till we got all of the sleeping bags handed out. So we can do kind of like a compilation or whatever you call it of, and tell people that we met our goal, as well as that we, and show some of the people that we gave it to or gave them to. We've been handing out some of them on our lives, and then other people don't necessarily want to be on camera. So you won't see 40 people getting bags, but there's several of them that we see regularly that that you'll see on there.
Absolutely.
You want to say something, Eli?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Hi.
I like to play games. I really like to play games. They're so fun.
Yep.
What kind of games?
Yeah.
Do you like to play
Well,
hide and go?
I like to play Sonic. I got Kirby games too.
He's fine. He's fine.
And also other games.
Do you
I
like
like
to
to
play,
also play other games.
Eli, do you like to play hide and seek?
Okay.
And I may be swinging by the grocery store to find some Greek yogurt and milk and stuff.
Okay.
But I'll try to be back.
I'll be here.
Can I come with you for a minute, Mama?
No, baby, you're gonna stay here.
Mom, I've got something to say.
Joanna, that's one of my best friends, Joanna. She went back to work at the post office. We met working at the post office, and then she quit like 2 years before I quit,
Lily
and
goes here.
then now she's back, and I think she's nuts. Yeah, I think she's nuts. She has today off because of Veterans Day.
I've got something to say.
What do you have to say?
I really, really love babies and my friends.
Babies and her friends.
Hmm.
How about kitty cats?
How about kitty cats?
Thank you. I love kitty cats.
All right, Lily,
I
take
like
care.
toenail clippers.
Okay, go play. Y'all go play outside. It's a nice day.
But yeah, like you were saying before, Jen, there's just so many people now. Like, I saw one of the stats going up. Somebody was saying that 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
And
I believe it. I've been there personally for a long time.
amen. Especially
And
being disabled. And, they say that, oh, well, we've given you 60%. No. Because it costs me, I can't plow my driveway anymore by myself. I have to spend $500 in winter to have somebody to remove my snow.
Yeah, just so you can go places.
I
Golly.
can't shovel my laneway. If I pop one of these rods in my back of my neck, I'm dead.
Ugh.
Yikes.
So
That must be kind of scary.
I can't. Well, I just got to really be careful, you know. And it's just, it is what it is, and I just carry on, you know, because I can't live in fear the rest of my life.
Right.
Yep.
I know
You
where
know-
I'm going whenever the time comes. So
You're just not ready to go yet. Yeah.
I'm just I have far too many people to bug and irritate before then. But it's just, you know, it's just, you know, especially today, it's a great day to, you know, the people that allowed us to do what we do today, you know, to meet in a church yesterday and talk about homeless and whatever else. Could you have done that if the Second World War would have went the other way?
There's no telling, you know?
So it's just, you know, we have to rejoice again, going back to our veterans on their day today.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Everything, you know, it just, but yeah, it truly is an issue here. And I'll send you, we'll talk offline, but I'll just touch on it a little bit. Some of the smaller municipalities are getting to a point where homelessness is a real thing. Like you said, they may be couch jumping, but it's still, you know, an issue. They are not in a home.
Right.
So
Yes.
there's a new thing where they're making like almost pods. They're like one room mini homes. There's a bed, there's a kitchen, you know, they're safe, there's a door that locks, you know, and they have an address so they can get help from the government. You know, they have their own washroom, shower, so that the people that want it, because you need people that want it.
Right.
You know, and those people aren't looking for a hand down.
Right. Exactly. They're not.
They're wanting a hand up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, you see that with some of your people, either bringing food or dropping, you know, $5 or what. You know what? They could have saved that for the last month.
Yeah.
But
right.
they believe in your mission, and they feel like they have to contribute in some way. And you know, it's just, oh, there's Brutal Bob. G'day, Bob. Long time.
By the way, you're talking about people feeling like they need to contribute. You remember Tyrone?
Yeah.
And he'd bring us sodas. I don't even drink soda. But I'd thank him anyway. And then I'd wait till we left and I'd give it to one of the kids.
Well, and that other fella yesterday that was there with Dave that gave the kids the candy Reese's Pieces and all that.
Yeah. Dave is hang on. We saw Tyrone at the church last night.
No way.
Yes, and he's doing good. And he had on a pair of headphones and some sort of like microphone device so that it would pick up.
Okay, to help him hear.
You know, people talking and help him hear. So that's awesome. And Super Dave, like he's a really funny guy. Like I love talking to him.
See the look on his face yesterday brought a tear to my eye.
He's a pretty bad alcoholic. And from what I understand, I don't know a lot about his situation, but he's made comments about things that, you know, bad things that happened to him as a kid, you know, which have probably led to some sort of mental instability, I mean, if we're tormented or we go through traumatic situations as a kid, that often carries into adulthood. And he treats it with alcohol. And so sometimes he'll show up and he's like, no, I don't even want to eat. I'm not hungry. And it's because he has stomach problems because of his alcoholism. So, but he shows up just to bring the kids candy.
Yeah.
So some of these people are really awesome. Like, if we had the ability to bring them home and put them to work, and, we would. But the fact of the matter is, we're not living paycheck to paycheck. We're living blessing to blessing, whether that's, Wiley working on this house in Shawnee or somebody ordering a bench or whatever. Those are all blessings that help us sustain. And so, and because our ministry is still new, we don't make a lot of money. But when I quit my job, and before he quit his job, we made sure that we were going to have a lot of the things that we were going to need. Obviously, you can't look out and think of every single thing that you're going to need, but we made sure that we paid off any debt that we had. So our bills are really minimal. And
you guys only really have a tractor bill? Yeah,
tractor payment and utilities, and that's it. Now we have internet, so we're going to have to pay for the internet too.
But that's also going to fuel a potential moneymaker. Right.
And that's how we look at it when we're like, oh, fiber's coming. And we're like, oh, but do we really need it? And we weighed the options or weighed the pros and cons, and we're like, it's no contract. Let's try it for a while and see what happens. So, yeah. So we live blessing to blessing, not paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly.
And, last week, somebody had come up. There was an older gentleman that come to eat, and he drove a decent car and had on decent clothes and probably didn't, wasn't facing some of these issues, but he gave Wiley $40 before he left.
Yeah. Wow, that's nice of him.
That's, and we were like, man, how are we going to buy food for the animals this week? And he gave us $40, and we're like, okay, there you go. There's some more dog food and, food for the animals. So,
yeah. Hey, Margie.
But we just, we try to stay in the Word daily, and we try to listen to God when He tells us to do something, and we trust that He will provide. We trust that because, the Bible tells us that. The Bible says that God will take care of His people. And, if the whole, I'm not good enough to quote the Bible or argue with anybody about it, but the whole lilies of the valley and the birds of the air, they don't do anything to earn it, but they still live, Mm-hmm. And so, which I mean, it's not like we're just unemployed and don't work. We're obviously trying to do work for God, and we do work for people too to pay the bills. But
yep, they're very hardworking. They finished a decent-sized bench with some good little designs on it in 3 days of actually working.
Yeah, but a lot of that's waiting for the polyurethane to dry so that you can put another coat on it.
Yeah.
And our most recent creation, we're pretty proud of it. We'll have to post pictures of it when it's done. Yesterday, when we were finishing it up, and
oh yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I'm gonna have to point the finger at Wiley. He's not here to defend himself. But I had the surface. He does the construction work, and he designs it and builds it, and he does the carving and stuff, and I do the painting and the sanding and the sealing and the bench. I had it sanded, and it was perfect and smooth and beautiful and sealed with 3 coats of polyurethane, and then he's drilling holes in the back of it to put the legs in it and skips across the top of it, and I was like,
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You must have just saw a tiny bit of, you must have shed a tiny tear.
Yeah, so, and it rained yesterday, so we didn't want to, we sanded it back down and got it to where it can be sealed again, but it was supposed to rain, or it rained last night really hard, and we didn't want it to get wet, so we just covered it up, and I've got to go home and seal it today again.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
why I sent you guys a message last night to see if you guys were all right, because there was quite a few tornadoes going around your area last night. I'm like, oh dear God, that's all I need right now. Like,
yeah. Well, we had a backup plan. We're like, if a tornado comes and takes our house, we had a full-size school bus that we were like, well, we'll just live in the school bus. And
because since they concreted down the sawmill, they have no need to worry about getting a little bit of material to build a couple of rooms.
The sawmill's not going anywhere. The house might blow away, but the sawmill's not going anywhere. But we're at our friend Benjamin and Joanna's house, and they are getting ready to move from Oklahoma. They're just kind of fed up with being around family and family drama and people making problems, and they're like, we want out of here. They've both lived in Oklahoma their entire lives, and they are getting ready to pack up and move to Wyoming or Montana or something. And so she went back to work at the post office because she knows that she can put in a transfer to go anywhere. And so we gave them the bus. So now, if the house gets torn down, we're going to have to work really fast to build something else.
yeah, because it'll be a little cramped in the truck.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Luckily, we do have a old full-size bus that was going to be our room, but if the worst goes to worst, we can just share it.
We'll just move in with Emily and Michael.
There you go.
We're going to convert an old school bus, that 1970-something school bus we had done a video on.
Yep.
We're going to turn it into a little cabin for Michael and Emily and split it in half so that they have separate entrances and they can have their private space, because they are fed up with Lily and Hunter.
Yeah, but you can't blame us because they're both turds.
It gets a lot whenever the little ones are getting into all your stuff, and I I get it.
I feel like that too, but I'm like, shoot, I created these monsters. Now I got to deal with them.
If the bus is big enough, make 4 bedrooms.
Yeah, right. I know. Then Emily and Michael would still not stay in there. They'd be like, they're too close. I can still hear them.
Yeah.
So Lily and Hunter will have rooms in the house, and then, which, I mean, they all 4 have a bedroom in the house, but they're all piled on top of each other, and so you whisper, and the person next door can hear you, and Hunter's giggling will get on someone's nerves, and Lily won't hush, and so they just... It's effective, but it's not the best setup as far as the teenagers wanting privacy.
It's space effective, not effective.
Space effective, he said.
Do you like what's above you now?
What is? Oh, that picture of Wiley. I saw that there was an image there. Oh yeah, that was funny.
And you said that Wiley wasn't here to defend himself.
Yeah. When Emily was giving him that makeover, Michael walked in and he was like, "What are you?" And he just left. He's like, "I'm leaving." He says, "I'm done." I can't see what that is.
That's a cow.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right, yeah.
Huh.
Hey, that's a cool feature. I'm going to have to... I didn't know you could change that. Is that like a premium thing that you can do?
It's because I bought it.
Yeah.
But so Brenda, thank your whole family for veteran and serving.
Yes, Brenda.
Thank them for me and I'm sure everybody else.
Yep.
It's different. I guess this is the first year that it's really hit me that Kyle's actually doing this. Last year was like, he's still only been a year and a half in. Maybe it's a fab. but now that he's got all his courses done and he's driving the big trucks now, and it's like he's got half a year of school in almost to be a police officer. So I'm like, well, I guess now he's, and his last, was it last week? Yeah. Last week, they asked him to deploy in June.
I thought I'd heard you say something like that, but I didn't know if you were talking about last June, because then you said he wanted to finish his schooling or something.
Well,
so
he's got one more year left, and he said to his CO, he's like, I know myself, if I get over there and all hell breaks loose, I'm over there for 2 years. I'm not going to go back and do my schooling. And he said, you know, because right now the military police they're in dire need of people right now. So his CO was like, no, you're, you know, like he's still 19. So he's like, you have a lot of time to give and you will do enough tours that not to worry. Finish your schooling and we'll do the next June. If you want to go for 6 months, I'll make sure that I put you top of the list. Which the kid's only been in the reserves 2 years. He's ranked himself up. You know, I think he's got 4 or 5 promotions in 2 years.
Wow.
And those are all based off of courses and things that he's done. So he's working his butt off. So
that's awesome.
Good to hear.
Do you have any interest in the military?
No.
No.
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, he was originally looking at it as he was going to do it for free school. And then we had major floods here and we had to call in the military. And that was, I guess, 3 years ago. 2019, spring of 2019. And they said, bring them up. We'll talk to them. And there was every level there from, you know, just under base commander right down to the grunt. And there was a military police officer there. Like, so they just all sat around him at the table. They had dinner. They talked to him. They told him what way to get into the military. And they said right now they're having a huge problem because these kids who are, I guess, they're going into the military as officers and they don't know what it really takes to become an officer in the military. So like they said to Kyle, it's beneficial for you to start out as a private and earn your way to, so like once he gets in as a police officer, he's an officer.
That's awesome.
He, you know, but he's done the legwork to get himself there. So like I said, that goes a long way whenever you're pulling over a higher ranked individual on the inside of their berets. He will have all his ranks up. It's one of the things that they do. And they said that there's just an issue right now with, especially up here, is they don't, they just, people are forgetting that, you know, you got to think how you got there.
Right.
That mommy and daddy just didn't buy you a position.
Right, exactly. And I was going to say that. I think that I don't know a lot about how the military works, but I know that from having various jobs and a business degree, it means a lot when you work your way up. When you start at the bottom, then you understand the bottom line, you understand how it works. People can see that you worked hard to get where you are. Because in a business scenario, you know, someone comes in and they're automatically the boss. They don't get as much respect as someone who's worked their way up to that position.
That's right.
And you know, there's that show. I can't remember what it's
Is
called.
this kind of just like Biden cheating his way?
Let's not talk about that on here.
Okay.
we won't talk about politics on here. We don't want Scott's channel to get
Demonetized.
Yeah. So, but
Hey,
anyway,
Abby.
it's there's a show about Undercover Boss, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, I've seen
And
it.
you know, and these people are CEOs of these big companies, and they go and they find out that, you know, they go to the bottom line and find out what it's actually about. Because I've had so many jobs where I was on the bottom line, and there's these people sitting in a nice cushy office somewhere that are managing everything, and they don't know how to. They want to tell you how to do your job when they've never done it. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And so they're making up rules that don't make sense and procedures that make it take longer or make it less effective or whatever. And it just, you're going to have a lot more respect when people see that you've worked your way to where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That
hello,
makes sense.
Beverly. And I said hi to Abby.
Hello, everybody.
And Margie, she's a lady. She's posting on Facebook here, and she's commenting in the chat. She's multitasking today. Watch out.
Hey, Margie.
My other phone's going off, and I look over, and oh, Margie's posting on Facebook. I'm like, holy jeez, well, she's just talking here. She's got all her fingers going today.
Oh dear goodness, we have a worker on our side.
What's that?
Oh dear goodness, we have a worker on our side.
Yeah. Yeah. Tiny Tim, a lot of young people are so entitled. Amen.
Amen. Amen. You know, and one thing
deserves...
on that note, you know, I've noticed that, I don't know, and that's part of, like, society's gotten themselves there, you know, or we've gotten ourselves there, because that whole mentality of we want to provide better for our kids, or we want to give our kids the things that we didn't have growing up.
Amen.
And so kids aren't learning that they have to work for stuff. They're learning that if they want something, their parents are going to work harder to get it for them.
Or if they want something done, it's easier for mommy to do it than for them to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
He thinks a little differently because I haven't raised him like that.
No, not at all. Actually, me and Emmy are working towards a common goal of getting ourselves just something to do whenever we move into our little old bus. And so I've been working odd jobs, and she's been babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
And they want a computer. Emily wants it to do like graphic design and digital art, and Michael wants to learn how to code, like to create video games.
Somewhat,
kind of.
Yeah,
but also mostly just to play games.
Oh, because we don't have video games. We don't have any game systems, and so they have to use their imagination, which isn't a bad thing. And I told them that now that they're a little bit older, I trust them to use a computer responsibly, as far as, like, you know, trying to stay away from the bad stuff that's out there. And
there's lots of it out there.
Yes, there is. And I'm not as worried about them stumbling across something as I am Lily and Hunter. Because, I mean, you can type in the word 6 and you get that consonant wrong or whatever, you get that vowel wrong, and it's all kinds of bad stuff.
You don't even have to get that vowel wrong, and you get lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Any word you type in, always gets you there.
Yeah. And I told them that if they wanted to, I couldn't buy them a computer, so if they wanted one, they're going to have to earn the money to buy it themselves.
That's right.
And so that's what they're working towards. And they're like, well, hey, computers are expensive, so we work together.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how that's going to work out when, they both
Whenever
want to
they
use
both
it.
want to use it at the same time, and
Well, that's why I'm kind of using my brain a little bit. That's kind of why I teamed up with Emmy, because if I don't team up with her, then I'm going to be working for it for 3 months doing odd jobs, and that's just going to suck.
Yeah.
So I teamed up with her because obviously she has somewhat of an actual job. She makes she works like 8 hours a day.
A couple days a week, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that I'm not going to be able to keep up.
I just have to run. You keep talking to Mom. I just got to run and
Okay.
put a little bit of water in with my chicken, or I'm going to be in trouble because I can smell it starting to burn in the crock pot.
Ruh-roh.
Yikes. Okay.
But yeah, anyway, so Emily's making hundreds while Michael's making 20s. So he decided to join forces with her.
Yep.
How are y'all going to handle it when
we
comes
were
to sharing time on it?
Well, we were actually planning on making two. We were planning on getting about $1,000 together and then just having each $500 PCs.
Because Michael thinks that he can build one for cheaper than they can buy one. So
Exactly. Plus, Wiley has a friend that knows how to do all this stuff. So
he'll have help. But
yeah.
that also teaches them not only to work for what they want, but they're going to take better care of it because they had to work hard for it. And in addition to that, they're going to learn a new skill when they learn how to build a PC, when they buy the parts for it and put it together.
Yeah.
So when something goes wrong or they want to upgrade something, they'll know how to do it.
Or
at least to a certain extent.
We have really good folks in our community that I am sure I could easily put you can put you in touch with is Chacha and James. That's what James does for a living, is builds computers.
Huh.
So, I know James would answer any question that the kids had. He's absolutely an awesome human.
I wonder how he'd like to see.
Just awesome.
I wonder if he'd like to see us try and butcher around.
But it's, it could be a simple question, or where to get the cheapest parts. What's the cheapest but best parts?
Right.
James would know all that for them.
That's a good idea. Wiley's brother does a lot with computers too. But it's always good to have, more opinions than one, and then to discern for yourself.
Yeah. That's it. Like, they're still young, and you hate to see them throw away $300, $400, $500, $600 on a computer that, is going to be outdated and useless in a year.
Right.
Exactly. That's why we're choosing to make PCs instead of grabbing a laptop, because laptops will be outdated in 5 years and will be absolute garbage.
And you can't.
And I think you're doing a wonderful job by doing that. And Brenda if you're not subscribed to them, Brenda just posted Mahalo Ranch. And yeah, it's James. Just send him a message, tell him that you were chatting with me, and said that possibly possibly could be some help.
So I know that Cha-Cha has her own channel. Is that separate? Is
Mahalo Ranch is James and Cha-Cha both, and then Cha-Cha has her own channel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yep.
It's hard to keep up with everybody.
And I believe they go live tonight at 7 Central. So if you're around, they're good folks. And there's Laura. Hey, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Where you were. Now, Abby, what is fire cider? She
I don't
said,
know.
anybody ever heard of fire cider?
Fire
No.
cider.
I've
have.
What?
heard of fire cider before, but it's not for a young person like you to be drinking.
Yeah.
And I've also heard of some cider made with hot peppers. So I'm not sure what she's talking about, but I'm sure she will let us know. And there's Chris. And
Hey, Chris.
Laura's in. Yeah. So do tell us, Abby, what are you talking about, silly girl? Oh, I make it with garlic, onion, jalapeno in it, and it boosts the immune system.
Yes, I've heard of that.
You should do a video on it, Abby.
Yeah.
And I'll post the
We're
link
coming into
there.
that time of year where everybody needs to boost their immune system. If the last couple of years hasn't convinced people to boost their immune system.
Yeah, there's that too. It hang on, I've got, for some reason, every time I go to copy and paste something, it goes a bit crazy on me here. Oh, she said she just posted the video. Well then,
Oh, great.
I will go watch it.
What's her channel? Because I can't. Well, I guess I could go to the comments and see, but
Will it be Bountiful Harvest Abby? But
okay.
Brenda, can you post Abby's channel for me, please? Or one of the mods? I don't know who's all in here.
I do it, but I'm
just Chris
busy
and
talking right now.
Brenda, Chris, Brenda, and Margie here right now.
I can hear the kids getting loud outside. I don't know if they're fighting or if they're playing, so I'm going to be here with Michael for just a second while I go just make sure that Hunter's not out there bullying the younger kids. Up your hands in front of him.
We'll hang him by his toes.
Yeah, right. I know Benjamin's got a like deer hanger thing around here somewhere where you hang them when you're butchering them.
Nice.
Oh,
Hey, Laura.
Hi.
Jonah says hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Jonah.
He's home from school today, so.
Oh, not feeling well?
Being quiet. This whole entire time. I'm just saying. I used whisper.
There we go. Gotta turn up the volume.
Not feeling good, or just needed a mummy day?
My life.
I had to go shopping. This month, so. Oh, Jonah. And yeah, we kind of have a mom day going on.
Nothing wrong with a good old mom day.
Yeah.
Oh, and got the puppy on the lap, and
You're muted.
yeah, she knows.
Oh.
There we go. Say hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
So who's that?
This
What
is
is that?
Norman.
Ah.
He's a very friendly guy.
Kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if everybody isn't subscribed to Abby, please go over. She's one of the ones that I talk about all the time. She's young, she's focused, and she's a go-getter. She's
learning how to be
actually the same age
sustainable.
as you, Michael.
Wow.
Yeah. She's got her own YouTube channel. She's builds her own greenhouse.
Hey, that's something that a grown man couldn't do in 3 months.
There you go. You guys can build your own greenhouse right beside the bus. And
Hunter hit me in the Hunter threw a ball on the trampoline and it hit me in the ear.
Oh.
So technically, he hit me with the.
Oh no. Oh well. Now everybody's. Oh, now Laura's back.
Yeah.
I muted because Lily came in just to complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard.
It's a hard day because of school's out, but you know.
So you
Crap, I
is
forgot.
school out all over the U.S. or?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Because
one
of it.
thing in Ontario that makes me so angry is our kids are in school today.
Oh, really?
Oh, it drives me crazy. And that changed probably about my grade 10 year, grade 11 year. We were always off and then boom. And not all provinces like New Brunswick, there's about 50-50. Half of Canada's off today. All the federal government, all the governments are off today.
Yeah.
And whoa, you went a little sideways there, Jen.
Oh, did you lose me? Okay, sorry. Hang on. I forgot to give Joanna the address of where she needs to drop Emily off at.
Oh, jeez.
So, and then I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, so she's probably been trying to call me.
Oh no.
Mom,
You're having an issue
you were
with
part of the post office, and yet you've made such a rookie mistake.
I mean, yeah.
How?
I thought Emily knew where we lived, and Hannah brought her home the other day, and Emily she said it was
Yeah,
like the
she was
blind
talking
leading-
all this
leading the
crap,
blind.
and then ended up getting lost.
Yeah, it was.
And it's not like she's never off the homestead. She's
Yeah. She just doesn't pay attention to where we live, I guess.
Well, to be fair, I don't either. Plus, she doesn't have an excuse because she gets off way more than I do.
Yeah, Michael usually is a homebody.
And Chris said that Jacob's in school today. And Margie said hers are off school, but have online school today.
Huh.
So it just seems like it's a big old mismatch of,
People off and on.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think that today should be a mandatory
Yeah.
and not only a mandatory, why they canceled it in Ontario is that nobody was going to the cenotaphs.
Mm.
Nobody was being part of what today was about. They
Right.
were sleeping and not caring about it. So they figured, well, if nobody's going to celebrate what today really means, why give them the day off? Kind of,
Or if you're going to keep it.
he just wants to talk too, Mom.
I know he's trying to tell you guys something. No, I mean, if they're going to keep them in school, why don't you take them on an outing to visit that stuff, you know?
A memorial or something.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 schools within a 15-minute walk to the cenotaph.
Yeah.
Why that now I can see the last 2 years was canceled. This year is a really scaled down version.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? The kids, normally there's representatives from each school that lays a wreath at the cenotaph. That wasn't there this year. You know, the kids are in a petri dish anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they come outside?
I'm happy to be homeschooling mine this year, even though there's been lots of times I've wished I could send them away for 8 hours a day because I'd get a lot more done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just with everything that's going on in the world, you know, they're being kids should be being taught things like, you know, how to balance a checkbook and how to take care of themselves and how to manage life.
How to check the oil.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
There's
put oil,
basically
how to
nothing they
in their
teach you in school nowadays is really
Right.
ever useful, other than elementary school, which teaches you how to read, write, and do simple math. Elementary school is useful.
They
Middle
don't teach
school
you math.
and high school, I don't think so.
They don't teach you math anymore, and they don't teach you spelling anymore. And that's
Really? Wow.
well, up here, 2 plus 2 isn't 4. Whenever I went to school, 2 plus 2 was 4.
Yeah.
Well, it's around 5 now.
Huh.
Whenever I get
What?
in a screaming match with a teacher because she threatened to put my kids in detention because I wanted them to learn math in their heads and not use a calculator, I was told the parents' role is at home.
Yeah.
I lost it.
Wow.
And this coming from a woman that has never had a child.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to raise my child
Exactly.
if you've never had a child of your own.
Right.
That makes sense.
Even if you have had a child of your own, you don't tell me how to raise my kids.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we've done an okay job,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, they all made it to adulthood, and they all seem to be pursuing positive things. So I consider that a success.
Well, that's it. One is Angol, military police officer. That's the baby. The middle one is doing ECE right now. She's got 2 more years. She's going to be a primary school teacher. And my other daughter is working full-time in the school system as an educational assistant, dealing with children at high risk.
Yeah.
They did okay,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say so.
but it fires me up
Yeah.
to no end.
You know, something
I
else
could
is
see
that
how.
the other kids had learned how to tell time on a watch. Now it's telling time using a digital watch. It's not telling time looking at a clock.
Yeah.
And
The
so
old
that's
clocks are going to die with our generation,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
you know. And remember the nurses, they had the old style clock that they did very simple math. They took your pulse for 10 seconds divided by 6, and they had your pulse like that.
Yeah.
Now kids of today have to wait a full minute, where old school, our generation, 10 seconds, they knew your heart rate.
Right.
Is somebody going to
It's not
die because of it?
change. I mean, well, unless, I mean, you know, like right now they're saying that grading is unfair in schools, in colleges especially, that it doesn't make any difference if you grade people. And so it's like, okay, so you're just taking any, it's, you know, in the world, people are going to be graded.
Yeah, yeah, they are, and with no mercy either. there's not a sliding scale in the real world.
Well,
Hey, your
Chris
mom's not
was just-
here.
Chris was just saying yesterday that everybody's getting a tongue lashing. Do, 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 do. Oh, look at Jen. Oh, she's got the stern voice going. I can't even make her laugh.
Sorry, I muted the mic because I was getting on one of the kids.
I know.
Yeah, they wanted some dry cereal because they didn't finish their breakfast.
I made lunch a little while ago, an hour ago, and they didn't finish it. They're like, I'm full. And now they want to eat again, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I fed you guys, and I provided you plenty, and you chose not to eat it. So now you get to wait till the next meal.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris, like some of them do 30 seconds and then multiply it by 2. Most of Debbie's coworkers and whatever, they're 10 seconds and divided by 6. Boom.
Yeah.
You know, it's just far too easy. And
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they're teaching them how to be reliant on computers, which if anything went down, you know.
we see it now. If a computer goes down,
Yeah.
everybody goes, what do I do?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's another thing is that they're talking about in the US, there's some talks about eliminating math altogether. We don't need it anymore. And I'm like,
No, we still need math,
You need
just not
okay.
linear algebra.
well, that's it, Laura. Figure out your paycheck.
Yeah.
math is probably one of the most used things. And I've had several
Absolutely.
people
Yeah.
tell me before that, governments are dumbing down kids
Yep.
so
And
that
they're
they
doing it for a
become
purpose.
more reliant on
Yeah.
society.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like, I was always like, yeah, you're crazy. And the longer we go,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, especially over the last 2 years,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can see it now.
Absolutely.
I'm
I
not
mean-
one of these tinfoil wearing, dance around
You don't
kind of
have to
fellas,
be.
but
I mean, now it's just, read between the lines. It's very clear, and it's becoming clearer to more people. And yeah, if we don't show up at our schools and say this isn't right, it ain't going to change.
And now, if you show up at the schools and you do make a stink, you're a domestic.
Terror.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's awful. And math is, there's almost no aspect of your life where you don't use math. When I was in school, I'm like, why do we need to learn this? When it comes to fractions and algebra and that kind of stuff, I'm like, why do I even need
Yeah.
to know this?
Which fractions make sense.
When-
Those can be useful to most professions. But linear algebra is for the entirely engineers.
Which
I
those guys too don't.
Yeah, sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
you need
those
them,
guys too,
but why are they just teaching us this whenever we're in middle school for no reason?
When, you need to know how to do basic math to go
Yes.
grocery shopping
Yeah.
and to manage your bills. You need
Yes.
to know, fractions to measure and cut things or to cook. Because, you need to know what 3/4 of a cup is plus half a cup, And so that's important. But when it gets into the geometry and stuff, that's stuff that can be saved for the professions that are going to use them.
Exactly.
But the fact of the matter is there's almost no aspect of your life where math isn't used.
Right.
Yeah.
At least
Abby
the
said
simpler.
geometry is what sucks for me. Abby doesn't like geometry either. And Chris, it's funny, Chris, we just had this conversation, Chris and I, yesterday,
Oh, cool.
that, his grade average, he went to his professor and said, I don't believe my grade average is this. I
Right.
believe that it's more. And then they turned around and told him, well, yes, if you were at a different school, you'd be almost a 4.0. But because you're at, a well-renowned university,
Right.
no, you're a 2.8 or whatever. And that people should be graded level. And nobody should be given a job on their race, color, nationality. The best person for the job gets
Yeah.
that job.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So
The world
much
has
here-
become so childish.
We're
My bad.
seeing so much of that here that it's defeating.
Right.
Like, I went to go into the police service whenever I was 19. I was a white male. My application was turned down immediately.
Right. Well, and this is really political. And my cousin, who is Canadian, he needed he needed some laser surgery. And he was trying to go into the police force, and so he got denied because he needed LASIK surgery. He couldn't get LASIK surgery at all. But somebody who was applying for that same police force needed transition surgery. And that got okayed right away.
That makes no sense.
So, that's all I'll say. There's young people around. So,
I'm kind of grateful that it's not like that in the military right now.
right.
So everybody's treated equal. And, just getting on the whole school thing, like Abby said, There's lots of kids I know can't pronounce money, dollars, and money and dollars right when they try to read something like $7,650.60. They can't do it.
Right.
That's scary.
That is.
And I've noticed, I don't know where you guys live, but I've noticed that where we live, there aren't a lot of people that count back your change anymore. They hand you your receipt and your cash in a pile, and they tell you how much is there. They don't count it back to you.
Because they don't know. They've never been taught. Again, the whole getting back to dumbing down society.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary because that society that needs a minute to read blood pressure is what is going to be looking after us when we really need them to be able to spit out some numbers real fast.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
not only that, but like when it just in general, you talked about like relying on computers, and if computers go down, there's going to be a lot of people up a creek without a paddle.
Mm-hmm.
And not only are they not going to know how to do math, but they're not going to know how to raise their own food or grow their own food, or most people don't even know how to prepare food that doesn't come pre-prepared in a package.
Yep.
And, to use whole ingredients and not something, like, for instance, there's not a lot of people that know how to make mac and cheese from scratch. They just think mac and cheese comes from Kraft or a similar brand. And so it's sad because kids aren't being taught how to cook or how to take care of themselves. They're being taught how to, I don't even know. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to say the wrong thing on here, but they're not, in my opinion, they're not being taught what they should be. And that's why my kids are homeschooled. Chris, you're sideways. Oh, there you go. You're back.
He's a little crooked anyways, but that's
I was gonna try to flip my camera, but it won't rotate.
Hey, Tony, we started off talking about veterans and thanking veterans, and I played that one parody of the Highway Through Heroes, or Highway of Heroes. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a rewind. And
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Did you see what I put in the chat earlier? I was like, I don't do anything. I don't go to functions just because I get tired of hearing thank you all the time. I'm like, I appreciate it, but it gets really old really fast for me.
A lot of folks like yourself that we are honoring today. And that's right. You're awkward. And I've been told this.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Kyle this summer. He got that a ton because he was doing a lot of traveling after he got his military license, picking up recruits all over the place and bringing them home. Well, every time he'd stop to go to the bathroom and get a coffee, everybody was tripping over him to buy him a coffee, thank him for his service. And he's like, I'm only a recruit, Dad. I've only been in 2 years. What do I do? What do I say? And I'm like, he's like, he said, they shouldn't be thanking me. And I'm like, buddy, you may not right now, but you've signed the ultimate check to your country. And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, dude, you haven't done a tour yet, but you will be in today's society. If you're very naive if you think that you're not going to be in battle somewhere. And you know what? If you want to sit around today in your rocking chair, Chris, you deserve it. Because you fought for the right so that we could all do whatever we wanted. And some people want to be active today. Some people just want to reflect at home. You fought to do whatever you want. That's
Well, and it's funny because like I did for the longest time, you know, after I got out of the service,
Bye, Abby.
I denied it.
Bye, Abby.
I didn't tell anybody about it. I
is sad.
didn't hint that I was a veteran. Like I just, and when me and Sarah got married and stuff, Jacob asked me to go to a Veterans Day parade or the Veterans Day program. And they would ask, even if I did go to a program at a school somewhere, when they were like, all the Army veterans stand up.
Yeah.
I refused to stand. And Sarah asked me one time, she was like, why do you do that? And I said, because they look at me as a hero and I am not. I said, the heroes are in the ground.
Mhm. My son said the same thing. He's like, I don't like it when they honor me because not everybody came home.
Yeah.
And he really has a hard time that he couldn't bring some of them. And so it's really for him too. So that,
Yeah, it's so hard. And there are those veterans that are glory hounds,
mhm.
and they're out for the recognition. And to me, that's not a true veteran. That's not a true they're out for, oh, look at me, look what I did. And I didn't want that. So I just kind of kept it all quiet because I wasn't looking for that. That's not why I joined the military. That's not why I fought for this country. And I did it because I loved the country that I lived in, and I wanted to protect those within this country. I did it for honor to the country, not to be honored or glorified. I didn't do it to be set on a pedestal and worship on a specific day of the year. That's not why I done it. So, when it come around to it, I was just like, yeah,
Amen, Tim. You couldn't have said that
I keep
any
to
better.
myself. I just kind of do my own thing, because I'm not out for that. That's not why I done it. So
yeah, but like Tim just said, oh, where'd you go, Laura?
we lost Laura.
I know. So Tim said, I like to say to veterans, if your job was to polish the colonel's toilet, thank you for your service. All gave some gave all. I thank all veterans. And it's truly true. And hey, Sweeney's Creek.
Hey, Sweeney's Creek. Hey, Scott. I'm going to get off here. We've been on here for a while with you, and I'm going to try to surprise Joanna with a clean. I'm going to do her dishes while she's gone. So.
Do you want to come up here and do mine too?
I mean, I still need to go home and do my own dishes too, but you might be next on my list.
You're picking at all the small things here.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Chris.
Bye, Jen. Welcome. I'm a lot better about it now than I was. But I was also angry at the way that my chain of command treated me. And so I wanted to distance myself from it for a while.
Mhm.
And like I said, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. The thank yous and stuff, but I get over it really quickly.
Yeah.
And there's some people that only give thanks on today. I carry a poppy in my half ton 365. It never moves. Unless I buy another vehicle. Then it goes into that vehicle. And every time I get in my truck, I look at it and give thanks. And it, yeah, it just, it, it's a lot, it's a lot different. A lot of people I know up here, there was a lot of people that never served overseas their whole career. They got out before we started Iraq, Bosnia, and all that. So those are the ones that are going, or some of them now are the ones you're talking about, Chris, are going around. I'm a true hero. I'm a veteran. Sorry. My thing is you went into active battle,
Right.
not on our own soil. That is a veteran to me. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody signs the same piece of paper, and they could have went. But I also know a lot of friends that I'm not a veteran. I'm a retired military, and that's the way they go at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never say it. Dad was in the military. My great uncle was in World War II. Now Kyle's in. I had an option, but back in the day, I was looking and I was having friends that were joining because they weren't going to go anywhere except for play war with our U.S. counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
Twice a year they go to the U.S. and twice a year the U.S. guys will come up here and play war for 2 weeks. And yeah, it's and I don't take it away from anybody because
Right.
they never know, but it's those guys that tell me
Right.
that that's why I don't call myself a veteran, because I was never inactive. I had a government job is what the one guy said. I had a half decent, it wasn't even a good paying job until recently. Our military was one of the worst paid military in the world. As of I believe last year, we are now the second highest paid military. But like Kyle and them were saying, that's great that they're starting to make the money, but now they have to start investing in new arms.
Yeah.
And also what they're asking for is 1% of the country's intake. That's all they want is 1%. I believe the US is 3% of the budget. 3 or 10%, something like that.
Roughly.
We're not even 1% here. And they expect them,
Yeah.
Well,
we're
and the
flying
crazy thing
around in
is
30-year-old choppers.
the crazy thing is when I enlisted and stuff, we got to figuring it up because people were like, "Oh, you make all this money," and I'm like, "Okay, think about it like this: if you make $20,000 in the military a year, and you start to break that down, because you're a soldier 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and you break it down to an hourly wage, you're making like $2 or $3 an hour.
That's about what I make.
You know, and it's
What?
like, it looks like a lot of money,
Hmm.
you know, on paper, but for the work you do, the hours you put in, it's not. I mean, it's not good money for what you have, what you do, and what you go through.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. And John, welcome. Thank you for coming back. Hopefully your gig, your practice went well. Just been more or less talking about military and whatever today, saying thank you to veterans. And there's a really nice Canadian parody. You might want to go back and watch. It would have been about the 30-minute mark. Other than that, we've just been a normal Thursday. Normally we talk military talk on Fridays, but it's Thursday today.
It's Thursday, yeah. No,
That's like, we went out for breakfast this morning.
yeah.
Go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, my husband served, but he wasn't in. I mean, he was a helicopter hydraulics engineer.
Mechanic.
Yeah, and my son served in Afghanistan as a Army Ranger. My uncle was in Vietnam, and so those guys have seen it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the difference, and you know, my son didn't come back the same, and carries that weight of, you know, I didn't get everybody home safe.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So today is a special day for
I
me.
was actually sent home from Iraq early,
Yeah.
and what it was is I came off of one deployment. 3 months later, left for Iraq for my second deployment.
Mm.
Well, when you're in the National Guard, you technically can only serve 24 months on active duty.
Mm-hmm.
At a, you know, consecutive. So when it was getting close, my ex-wife went to the colonel, or the general that was, you know, over the state side of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, look, he's pushing 24 months. He needs to come home. Did it all behind my back. And my chain of command come to me and was like, hey, you need to pack your stuff. You're getting ready to go home. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Mm.
I was like, no, I'm not. You know, my deployment's not over yet. And they're like, you don't have a choice.
Mm.
This is coming down from the general. You're going home. I'm like, no, I'm not. I was like, give me the paperwork to sign to extend. You know, because I'm staying here.
Right.
And he was like, no, you're not. They were like, your wife is causing all kinds of problems back in the States over this. You're going home. And I was so mad. I was so angry because I was pulled early. And then we had a soldier die at the end of the deployment. And the survivor's guilt hit me so hard.
Yeah.
Because all I could think was, well, if I would have stayed, you know, maybe that would have been an extra set of eyes, that could have caught it before it happened, or, like so many things just went through my mind, and it hit me so hard that I woke up every morning, started drinking. Like I was legitimately a high functioning alcoholic, because it just destroyed me.
Mhm.
And I pretty much drank from the time I got up to the time I went to bed. Went to school, worked, always had a flask. I couldn't bear it.
You had to get through the day somehow.
Exactly. And that's how I was doing it.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to realize that even if I was there, I probably couldn't have stopped it.
And it could have been you.
And it could have been me.
Yeah.
And at the time, like literally at the time, I wish it would have been me. I wish I could have traded places with this kid. He was
I do.
19 years old with 3 kids and a wife.
Yep.
Like I was like it tore me up something fierce for a long time.
Absolutely. And, every person that I've heard that comes back, and I'm sure Laura can attest to this, is that's what they focus on.
Yeah.
Is I couldn't bring my brother home. Some of them, one of my buddies, his best friend over there that had his back the whole time, they were a week from coming home. Unfortunately, his buddy never made it home. They couldn't find all his pieces.
Yeah.
He hit an IED.
Yeah, one of my best friends, he was stationed in Iraq. I was stationed in Kuwait. We were 6 hours apart. 6 hours drive time.
Mhm.
And I was sitting in one of the towers, and I had my laptop out and got on Facebook, was just checking Facebook out, and getting updated on things back home and stuff like that. And I'd run across an article, where one of my friends was like, hey, this person at the age of this passed away and, was killed in Iraq by an IED. And it happened to be my best friend. And I was like, as I read it, though, there were some things that didn't make sense, so I was like, okay, maybe this is just a joke. Maybe this ain't real. And I called his wife, and she was like, hey, I've been meaning to get a hold of you. I was like, well, it had been pretty hard. I'm in Kuwait right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it true? And she was like, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so floored. She was like, where'd you hear about it? How'd you find out? And I was like, I found out on Facebook. And she felt so bad that that's how I had to find out that my best friend died.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was 6 hours away and couldn't do nothing,
Right.
And the thing of it is that this was the kind of NCO this guy was. They were a week or two out from coming home, and the lieutenant that was taking his place or their place wanted to do one more run just to make sure that he had everything down. And my best friend told his troops, you guys worked hard. You guys relax. I'll take this one.
Right.
And so he gave all of his guys the day off and he went when he could have very easily sent one of his troops out to do it. But he took it and they were hit by that IED and it killed him instantly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I got home from that deployment and was just distraught, you know, even worse than what I was beforehand.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to explain, but you know, you're right. We don't come back the same. We are so different. And then for the longest time, that's all I could say. You know, people would be like, man, you're not the same Chris we knew. You know, something's changed. Something's wrong. You need to get help. And I'm like, this is just who I am now. War changes people.
Mm-hmm.
But I was angry. I was super angry. And just, I would snap on a dime. Like, and never even realize I was doing it. And that was the hardest part to get over, was the fact that it would be over the littlest, stupidest stuff. And I'd just snap and blow this huge head gasket for absolutely no reason at all. And have no clue that I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no clue.
Oh, some of the stories that I've heard from over there, it turns my stomach, and I wasn't even part of it.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
just the way that humans are treated over there. You know, one story that just I can't get out of my head is a very close friend of mine was serving. Actually, they were running teams, and he was with a group out of the U.S. There was a group out of Canada, and I don't know if it was either Scotland or you know, somewhere over there. Anyways, they were running 3 in a team, and a bus accident happened right in front of them. They saved all the men. They killed the women and children to save the men. But that's their culture.
Yep.
They are worth nothing. And it to hear that over here, it just, you know, brings me to tears every time. Just, you know, and that's only a snippet that he will talk about.
Yeah, my son does not say much,
Hmm.
but he definitely has the survivor guilt. And then I found pictures, and I'm just like, he left him at my house for a while. I'm like, oh, this is pictures from Afghanistan. And I'm like, I got 2 pictures in. I'm like, okay. I don't know why we're taking pictures of these things, but, you know, it's just like, okay. I put him down and I walked away, and I you know, I can't imagine what, you know, and then you hear,
It's all good, Laura. It's all good.
yeah, you hear about all his, I mean, he's lost quite a few buddies here at home, you know.
Telling stories.
Yes. He wants my tablet.
No.
So, yeah, you know, it's that's the hardest thing is you get through that, and then you're still losing buddies here at home.
Mm.
And then
I think,
he has the guilt that he can't be there for every one of those ones.
yeah, since I've been home, I've heard of 3, I think it is, that's committed suicide since I've been home.
What did Mike say? There's 22 U.S.
22
veterans.
U.S. veteran suicides a day. That's what it averages out to.
Yeah,
Is
I think
22 a day.
5 in his group of 17.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Squirrel Magnet. He said his dad died in Vietnam in 1971 and never came back. God bless. And John said that his granddad was killed in Dunkirk. Again, God bless.
There were several times after I got home I contemplated it.
Sure glad you did.
And done some really stupid stuff that if I had have like driving 90 down the curviest road I could find.
Yeah.
That if I would have lost control, I would have.
Right.
But I never in like those days were I was mad, I was angry. You know, I wasn't thinking about suicide. You know, I just took off and was like, well, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. You know, really don't care. But there were days that I definitely thought about it and was like, the world would be a much better place without me. You know, my family would be a lot better off without me. My friends would be a lot better off without me. And then I would just kind of snap out of it and go, what are you thinking, dude?
Yeah.
That is so dumb.
But you've already said it, it was also the alcohol giving you instant adrenaline as well.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get that fix.
I stayed so, like, I was always looking for a risk to take. Always looking for a risk to take. Because my regular, basic, everyday civilian life was super boring. Like, I was so bored. I didn't have that excitement. I didn't have that adrenaline rush. And I itched for that adrenaline rush. I itched for it and I needed it. And so I would go do some stupid stuff just to get that kick.
Yep.
To make me feel normal.
You served so long that was part of your, we're human.
Right.
Yeah.
And
same reason why a lot of them want to go back. They don't feel like they can function here anymore.
I'm functioning just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that if I didn't have my family, if it wasn't for Sarah and Jacob, I would be in Iraq right now. I would have moved there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's kind of like you see a lot of these Vietnam vets, or a lot of it's more known about the Vietnam veterans. You know, and it's portrayed very well in Rambo. You know, when he went back to Vietnam, because he felt comfortable there.
Right.
He felt at home there. You know, and there's a lot of Vietnam vets that have gone back because that's where they feel comfortable. you know, and I don't, I looked for any reason back in the day to go back. Any reason
Mhm.
to go back. Just so that I could feel normal again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And of course, you know, I still go through those days where I'm just like, I don't feel normal. But it's not as bad. I mean, there are days that I have really, really great days, and then there are some days that I have really bad days. And like I told Sarah, we were talking the other day, you know, about communication. You know, having that communication with your spouse, and she's like, that's one thing that I've always hated is that, you know, you don't talk to me about things. And I said, well, I said, here's the thing. I said, when I'm in one of those spells, I said, I've got so much going through my mind at one time
Yeah.
that I don't know how to communicate it.
Yeah.
I said, and I've gotten a lot better about saying, look, yes, something's going on. I'm a little depressed. I don't know why. You know, I don't know why. I don't. I said, if I could talk about it, I would talk about it, but it's this 1 second, this the next second. I said, and it changes so fast and it's so rapid that I don't understand it myself to be able to communicate that.
Mhm.
I was like, but when I do, I can remember, you know, I'll be like, okay, well, I was depressed because of this, 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 and this, you know, or I was feeling bad because of this, 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 and this. And sometimes it's like, I don't know, I was just in funk that day. Don't know what caused it. Don't know. You know, I don't know.
Mhm.
And so it's taken me a while to be able to learn that I have that support here because I didn't have that in my first marriage.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's taken me a little while to say, okay, I can take a moment, try to figure it out, and then talk to her about it.
Absolutely. So, John, are you named after your grandfather? By the looks of it, I'm going to have to say you are. So he said Sergeant John Hansen fell 28th of May, early 1940s in Dunkirk, Belgium, France. Occupation in remembrance.
I think I'm glad that this day is, you know, just, it's remembered all throughout the world, you know,
Yeah.
on the same day. Because it's no matter what side or what group or what, people fell everywhere.
Absolutely. They fell everywhere, and they might be from different countries, but we're free in 90% of the world because of everyone, just
Mm-hmm.
not the fallen, but the guys that made it home too.
It's
Oh, okay, John.
it's
So,
it's
John,
kind of funny because, you know, people are like, you need to go get help, go see a shrink, go see a psychiatrist. And I'm like, okay. Finally, you know, I was like, okay. So I did. And everyone I talked to was like, mm-hmm, yeah, I understand. I totally understand. And I was like,
no, you don't.
let me ask you a question. Did you serve in the military? No. Did you go to war? Have you ever been in war? Whether civilian or military? Well, no. I said, then you don't have a flipping clue.
But they understand what their textbooks tell them.
Exactly. And their textbooks
Laura.
are wrong.
Right.
95% of the time when it comes to these particular things, their textbooks are wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I really enjoy my favorite veterans to talk to are the Vietnam vets, the Desert Storm vets, and then the Iraqi freedom vets. Because of course, those that went to Desert Storm really understand, the younger Iraq vets because they're in the same place. There were things that were slightly different, but in the same place. The Vietnam vets understand us and we understand them because even though it was a different type of war, it was a different, type of battle, it was still combat in a way that we understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And so 90%, I would say 99% of the help I received was talking to other veterans that were in combat, combat veterans, because they understand.
Right.
And it was therapeutic on both parts because they knew that I understood what they were going through. I understood that they knew what I was going through, and we were able to talk about it. And
Right.
that was the most therapeutic all the way around.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell a lot of veterans now, especially combat veterans, that are struggling with, talking to a psychiatrist or to a psychologist, because they're like, and they just don't get it. I'm like, talk to another combat vet.
Mm-hmm.
Find a combat vet that's more level-headed than you.
Yeah.
Not that you're not level-headed, but find somebody who has learned those coping mechanisms that work for them that can help you.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to cut it here in about 5 minutes. I've got an appointment that I have to be to in about 20 minutes. So. Oh, take care, Joe.
Take care, Joe.
And
so I was watching
Idaho Garden Girl. Hello.
I was watching Garden State Gardener's video earlier today, to get ready for Sunday. His video popped up. Everything else on my phone was blacked out. I couldn't comment. I couldn't give a thumbs up. I couldn't do a thing.
I watched it, commented.
And so I I turned it all off, went back into it, and it all came right back. It all came up. So I don't know if it had to, if my phone had a slight glitch in it somewhere, that was that caused that or what, but
God only knows.
that's like I downloaded my videos of the shop clean out onto Sarah's computer. And she texted me and she was like, hey, check those videos on your phone. Like, okay, why? What's up? She sent me a picture and 3/4 of the video screen is blacked out.
That's weird.
When she went in to view it and edit it and everything, 3/4 of it was blacked out. So I went back and watched the first 10, 15 minutes of it yesterday. It's not like that on my phone. So I told her, I was like, delete it. We'll re-download it later.
That's weird. Yeah. All right, Tim. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Have a good day, and we'll see you probably tomorrow.
Yeah, I might be a little late tomorrow.
All right.
I have that interview at 11 o'clock.
Exciting. Yep, and I'm signing papers tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So it's done. Done
Yep.
deal.
Yeah, we have our appointment at 8:30 in the morning Pacific time. So
And then how long have you worked out a date?
49
yet?
days
How long?
or 59 days. Sorry.
Okay.
And then we'll
I
be
was
out.
going to say,
Yeah, 59 days, and then we'll be out. Then we're on our way to Tennessee. So
the old
So
Rocky Top.
you guys have seen that property before, and like you've
well,
owned
Chris
that for a while.
Chris was there when we purchased it,
Okay.
and then he came home. I haven't seen it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He better pray Mama likes it.
I've seen like video of it and all of that, of course, but I haven't had my feet on the ground there.
Wow. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah. So.
Exciting, nervous.
Yes, all of the above, of course, because I've never lived in that area.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Been there.
I used to live in Nashville.
Now,
and
what kind of... Go ahead, Chris.
I loved to just, like, I would get out of the city and just drive the countryside.
Yeah.
It is flat gorgeous out there.
We're not very far from Nashville, so a couple hours.
Now, what kind of... Have you looked ahead to see what kind of supports you have?
Mm-hmm.
And there's...
Yeah, we're going to be staying... My husband and I are probably going to be staying with his brother for a while.
Okay.
While we're working at our house plan. So.
Okay. Yeah. And there's like
then
good
we'll be looking for
schools
jobs
in the
and all
area,
that.
or what's that?
Then we'll be looking for jobs and all that fun stuff. My husband's sending me a bunch of emails.
Well, there you
They
go.
have great schools out there.
Okay.
They do, I know. I don't have any kiddos that are going to school, but
Okay.
The city schools are a little rough, but with you being a couple hours out of Nashville, some of those smaller towns have amazing school systems.
oh wow.
Carthage, which is a couple hours south, I think it is, of Nashville. They have a really good school system. You have places like Middle Tennessee, which is it's a really small, like it's a small area, but they have that's where Middle Tennessee State University is.
Yeah.
They have some good school systems. Yeah, so a lot of those smaller towns and stuff around have a lot of really good school systems.
Yeah. Anyways, I hate to cut you off, but
yep.
I got to run.
Okay, guys.
So I will see everybody tomorrow at the normal time, 1:30.
Yep. I should be on time since my interview's at 11. So I should be able to get through it hopefully within about 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
So I should be on time. It just depends on how many questions they ask and all of that.
All right.
All right.
Think and pray for you. And,
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it only took everyone leaving and me being the only applicant for them to call me for this interview.
Even though you were right there the whole time, right?
Yeah, this is the 4th time I've applied for this job.
Yeah.
So
Okay, Chris.
it happens.
Yes, Molly. Yes.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye,
All right.
Scott. Bye,
See
Chris.
you guys later.
Bye.
Everybody in the
And
chat.
thank you, everybody. Thank you, all the mods. Thank you again for all the veterans out there and the veterans' families. Sometimes they're the ones left holding all the pieces. And they're also in my prayers today. So take care. God bless. And we will definitely talk to you tomorrow.